In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Aaron and Nicole are with us. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Dave.
Awesome. Hey, Dave.
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
Dallas, Texas.
Fun. Well, welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I
we're
love
here.
it. Very fun. How much have you paid off?
$75,000 in 35 months.
Way to go. Very well done. Making what kind of money?
We started off about 75 and ended up, hopefully this year, about 115.
Wow, nice raise. What happened to your incomes?
I got a promotion, and we've just been working our butts off.
Lots of extra jobs. Lots of overtime.
Gotcha. Okay. So you paid off about a little over $2,000 a month average for about 3 years. What kind of debt was this?
Wow, it was everything.
We were just normal. We had a credit card, two vehicles, a student loan, but the biggest chunk was $36,000. When we bought our house in 2007, we financed it at 100%.
And we took it at 80-20, which I know you love those.
A HELOC. It was 20-year term for 8.34%.
Okay. So you got rid of the second mortgage in this process.
Yes.
Very well done. Okay. Very cool. So what happened 3 years ago that put you on this journey? Tell me the story.
Well, back in 2008, I was getting out of the military, and one of the finest human beings alive, named John Stroud, kind of took me under his wings as a mentor. And, we were coming back from a hunting trip one time, and he was talking about how he did Dave Ramsey, and I'd never heard of you before. And this is one of the most successful guys I've ever met.
They just live and give. It's like no one we'd ever met before.
So, that stuck in my head. And then a few weeks later, we had a presentation on FPU at church. And we thought, wow, I think somebody's trying to tell us something. It's time.
Yeah.
And John and Susan, they actually said, well, hey, guys, when y'all finish this up, we'll pay for your trip out to Nashville to do your scream. So,
hey!
So here we are.
Wow. How neat is that?
That's awesome.
They're
So your
fabulous.
mentor paid for you to come?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
That is very neat.
Yes.
That's fun. So you went through Financial Peace University.
Well, that's funny. When they offered it at our church, we didn't even have $100 to take the class. So we borrowed the CDs, and she would listen to one, then I would listen to it just on our commutes.
Ah, okay.
But
Okay.
We eventually facilitated and coordinated for our church, and we'll coordinate again in January. So
Well,
we're a
thank
big
you.
fan of FPU.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay. So when you were going through the CDs, what was the thing that caught you off guard? I guess the first time you got the information into your brain and you went, that's going to be harder, or that's going to be easier, or something than you thought, something that was completely different than you thought before you started getting the information.
cash money.
Talk about that.
Yeah, cash has been absolutely, I think, the cornerstone of this whole process, because even if you're terrible at budgeting, once you quit borrowing and start living on cash, you have an automatic budget. And
That's true.
when
If
it's
you
gone,
quit
it's gone.
borrowing.
It's gone.
That's true. Okay, that's good.
So that was probably the, switching to cash and getting on a written budget
I
for
think
us.
for me, I had been the one trying to do our money, and I had a budget per se, and I budgeted for groceries, I budgeted for gas, but it was just all those incidentals, those other envelopes and other budget areas that are not emergencies or surprises, like you say, that I just had never taken into account. So you need new tires, and that goes on the credit card, or Christmas rolls around and that goes on the credit card. So it finally had us, like you said, looking out the windshield instead of the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I got you. So take us back to 36 months ago, and you sat down and you did the first debt
awesome.
Oh, it was
snowball.
so bad.
That was awful.
It was so bad.
And
That was awful. I think I got up from the table maybe 6 or 7 times.
We had to reconvene a couple times. It was rough. We
so you're
came-
fighting.
Well, I was freaking out because
You're just having a panic
Oh, yeah.
attack. Okay.
Well, I grew up, the solution to everything my dad always told me was just go make more money.
Yeah.
So that's what I would turn to. As soon as there was a money problem, I got to go make more money. Got to
Yeah.
go make more money.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to drill in, like, it doesn't matter how much money we make, we can still be in debt. No matter how little we make, we can still get out of debt.
So he would get up and circle around and
Oh,
come
yeah.
back down, sit back down, and
Yeah.
okay, all right.
And Dave, when we got married and finally combined our finances, money freaked me out so much. I gave her about a halfway full 50-gallon trash bag full of unopened bills. Like, hey,
Hey,
That's how you avoid conflict with money. You just never,
you never know.
put it in a trash bag and
Yeah.
hope it
Never
goes
talk
away.
about it, yeah, so-
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
All right. So you sat down and you did that. You
Yeah.
freaked out when you saw the
Yes.
number,
Oh,
Yeah.
and now here you stand 3 years later, 3 long years later. Was it easier or harder now, looking back on it, than you thought it was going to be that night?
Easier.
Oh, way easier.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
way
yeah.
easier. In the beginning, it was tough. Just
It seemed insurmountable.
once I saw actual traction happening, and I realized, hey, this is doable, and we had a month, and I mean, I can shoot for that. So that was a big deal for me, just knowing that.
Though
hey,
having the plan.
Yes, and the harder we work, the faster it's going to go.
So once you got 1 month down, you're like, okay. And then you do 2 months, you're like, maybe we're not doofuses. We can do this. Yeah. That's what happened to
There's
me.
hope for us,
That's
yeah.
exactly how I felt. I felt like, maybe I'm not a complete nincompoop, Maybe I really, because you build confidence, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
As you go
absolutely.
And
along.
momentum. Yeah.
What was the hardest part of the journey for you all?
I think, you talk about, I think your rule is if you can't get debt free in 18 to 24 months, sell it. And so looking back, we should have probably sold our vehicles and gone down in vehicle, because I think we got to that 2-year mark. And that's when we start coordinating FPU, because we needed an extra push to get us to the end, because we got to that 2-year mark and,
You're out of
seeing
steam.
we had that last big HELOC left, and we're going, oh my gosh, we're never going to get there. We've been going so long and so hard, we're never going to get there. But it, as always, it went faster than we anticipated.
So that last big debt at the bottom of the debt snowball, even with the emotional head of steam you've got, it still stops you in your tracks. It still leads you to, I'm overwhelmed again.
Yes.
Well,
Because it's fun to pay off those little guys as
Yeah.
they go, but when you're done and you've already put 2 years in and there's still, I think it was 25,000 left, we're going, oh man, but it's taken us 2 years to get 20. How are we going to get, or whatever the math
But Dave,
was,
I
it
will
just didn't
say,
make sense.
you always say that, whenever you really start following God's plan, He starts blessing you. It's been absolutely tremendous, the amount of blessings we've had since we've actually started managing our money like, we're supposed to.
In our careers
And
and
that-
financially and
Well, your income almost doubled.
Crazy.
opportunities. Just
Money came from everywhere. It's just been unbelievable how we've been blessed.
That's very cool. And so how long have you all been married?
almost 10 years.
Okay. So you had 7 years of regular, of normal, and 3 years on this, and now you're free. How's it feel?
That's
Unbelievable.
amazing.
So the 10-year mark is coming up, but now you don't have any debt.
Awesome.
Wow. Very fun. And who's your young son? Tell us his name.
This is Cole.
And how old is Cole?
He's 3.5, and we have another one at home.
Oh, perfect. Very fun. Okay. Well, excellent job, you guys. It's a great story. You're a success.
Thank you
You
for
did it.
all the
I'm
tools.
So proud of you. Congratulations. And thank you for leading the class. All right, Aaron and Nicole and Cole, $75,000 paid off in 35 months, making 75, now making 115. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
Good job, Cole. I love it. I love it. Well done. Well done. Man, that's excellent. That is so fun.